Call this meeting to order, start with the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'll now turn things over to the superintendent for tonight's celebration of excellence.
All right. Thank you all very much for being here tonight. I'm very excited to honor you all tonight, our outstanding music students. So 8 students from Bolton High School will participate in this year's Eastern Region High School Music Festival at UConn in January. And 10 students from Bolton Center School will participate in the Eastern Region Middle School Music Festival in March at Coventry High School. In order to participate in the festivals at both middle and the high school level, each student had to perform a live audition in front of a professional adjudicator from the Connecticut Music Educators Association. The auditions are highly competitive, and it is a great honor to be selected for one of these elite ensembles. During each festival, students rehearse for several hours on Friday evening and Saturday morning and perform a concert on Saturday afternoon featuring several pieces of challenging and exciting repertoire. I'd like to invite Mr. Ayer up to the podium to introduce our Eastern Region music students. Thank you, Mr. Ayer.
Yep, good evening. Looks like most of the students are in the back, so I will read off their names and I'll just ask them to step forward, give a wave, and then we'll applaud for all of them at the end. Or if you're sitting down, you can stand up. So for high school band, we have Allison Hartzog, flute, Nicole D'Annunzio, flute, Emma DeRosiers, jazz guitar, and Jane Park, French horn. And from the high school chorus, we have Maranatha Cram, alto, Adriana Maelli, soprano, Kelsey Perkins, soprano, and Sophia Petrozello, soprano. A couple of them couldn't be here tonight. So that's our high school students.
Congratulations.
And then our 10 middle school chorus students, I see most of them are here this evening. We have Juliana Basil, soprano, Cami Duffy, alto, Ellie Gagnon, alto, Parker Hamilton, alto, Mio Iger, alto, Cora Murray, soprano, Avery Norris, soprano, Juliana Oldakowski, soprano, Quinn Perkins, alto, and Savannah Schiebel, alto.
Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for coming out tonight to be honored, and for the parents who came out as well. We appreciate it. You are more than welcome to stay for our meeting, but if you would like to go, this is your opportunity. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations. What, you don't want to stay? And that concludes our celebration of excellence tonight. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good to see you. Yeah. All right. Moving on to comments from the audience. Is there anyone in the audience this evening who would like to make a public comment? Hearing none. Any additions to the agenda this evening?
No.
And on to routine business and the approval of minutes. We have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the December 12th, 2024 Board of Education business meeting. Second. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or edits on any of these minutes? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? All right, on to Board of Ed committee reports.
Finance?
Oh, finance, I should have said that.
We are currently 39% spending as we were last year, so we're exactly the same as we were last year. And for special education is an ever changing landscape. And then I'm going to turn the rest of this discussion over to the superintendent.
Thank you very much. So we have a few transfers from December. We had a transfer from athletic transportation to athletic supplies for the replacement of 12 basketballs at the high school. A reclass to cover the cost of the Mark B basketball scorebooks, new version on fouls. A transfer from program improvement and evaluation to instructional technology to cover the replacement of a failed ViewSonic board for the science lab at BCS. And a transfer from building administration to music to purchase reeds for instruments at BCS. And a reclassification to purchase some grade 4 social studies supplemental books. Any questions there? So before we do a motion to do that, I just would like to share a couple of other things if I could under finance. The town finance and actually Maria may be talking about this, but I just wanted to put this out here under finance. Committee met last night regarding the CAPA budget requests. The BCS bell system that we currently have in our capital request for $30,000, I suggested to them that we could eliminate from our CAPA request because I think we're going to be able to do that replacement this year. So I think that's something that they're going to consider taking off. That was my understanding. And just a reminder that we still need to replace the other half of the window blinds at BCS, which if you may recall, for those members that were here, that was something that wasn't allowed in CAPA. So we did half of them last year. So that's something else that depending upon what kind of monies we may have available later on this year, we may look to also take care of the rest of that. So that was my update for that. Just need a motion on that.
So could we have a motion, please, to approve the December transfers?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Anyone have any questions or comments on any of these? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? Is that it for finance?
It was,
The personnel committee had a meeting last week regarding, the terms of employment for unaffiliated employees, which we will be discussing later on this evening in executive session. Oh, and also about this year's stipend requests, which we'll be discussing as part of our budget deliberations next month. And to community meeting reports. I'd like to report on the PTA.
So Tuesday, the PTA kicked off a breakfast for the PTS teachers. We did a yogurt bar for them that was very well received. I'm excited for it. So there was lots of leftover yogurt in the fridge. Hopefully they'll all get eaten. Upcoming events, we have the special someone dance for pre-K through 5th grade families at the center school on February 7th, Friday. Planning a whole bunch of fun activities and stuff with that as well. And then we're also gearing up for the gala, which will be held at Illicit Brewery this year, a little bit more relaxed event as well. And then I think they also just released Gold Pass tickets as well today.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other community meetings?
I just say the CAPA meeting that we had was yesterday.
yes,
0.
they sure are.
I'd say it was the, budget that, or the presentation that Kristen had walked us through. Was it last meeting or the meeting before?
Mhm.
No strong reactions, I'd say either way. I think it's just, we have to pull together a summary of all the CAPA requests across the town and for that next. The next meeting will probably be at a more granular level, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Sounds good. Anyone else? Scholarship? No. I think I haven't cracked meeting yet. All right, I'll now turn things over to the superintendent for tonight's superintendent of schools report.
All right, great. I would like to introduce our academic leaders from music, Mr. Dan Ayer, and from CTE, Chris Jones. And we're going to start with the arts and music update from Mr. Ayer first. Thank you.
evening again. Oh, I grabbed the. is it working now?
Could we bring the lights down just a hair?
Yep.
Please.
All right, so what I've got for you here tonight is really kind of a highlight reel of the work our department has done so far this year and some upcoming events that the community is invited to attend. All right, so here is our team. We have two new department members who were hired this year, and that's Stephanie Foss and Sean McCormick, and they're both proving to be a real asset to our team. Also wanted to point out that everyone here in our department in the arts is involved in extracurriculars also, so we are all really committed to the work that we're doing here. And I'm gonna share a few things that Mrs. Paradis sent to me about art at BCS. She was out on maternity leave for a good part of the school year so far. And I was really impressed that her students were able to produce so much quality work during that time. She did a great job preparing them for that, and her long-term sub did an excellent job too. So here's a little bit of work that kindergarten and first grade put together so far. And second grade, we've got some fall themed work there. Fourth and fifth grade, fire prevention. And at the middle school level, the curriculum focuses on different famous artists and their work and their styles and techniques. And so the students study an artist for a while, and then they create work to emulate those styles and techniques. So here's a few of those things from sixth grade. And same idea here in seventh grade. And finally, our eighth grade students. And there will be an art show for the center school in May, so the community is invited to come out and see that. And there's going to be an ice cream social. I believe the date for that is May 13th. So we hope to see everyone there. Moving on to music at the center school, Mrs. Foss, our general music teacher, put together this slide sharing what her students are working on at the elementary level, K to 3. I'm not sure why they're in this order. But the transitions are fun. Moving on to the band and chorus at the center school, I wanted to share a little bit about our solo and ensemble experience that we provide the students. This is something that is unique to Bolton. We developed this format starting in 2018, and it's become a really popular fixture of our program. It's truly a student-led, student-centered experience. The students choose the music that they want to learn and perform. They choose which peers they want to work with. They learn to collaborate. They solve problems together. They learn how to give each other constructive feedback in a positive way. And then it all culminates in a performance that students are in either the gym or the cafeteria or the library all simultaneously. And parents and families get to come and choose which performances they want to see. And it's just a really great experience that I think helps with a lot of the district goals and the transferable skills that we're focused on here. We are still doing our traditional concerts as well. So we have 6 concerts at BCS this year, some similar format to previous years. And we have some assemblies that our music students participate in. The Veterans Assembly, we had about half of the school performing in music performances at that. And the Winter Assembly, we had a lot of fun with the 8th graders leading some sing-along songs and a staff band that we put together for that. So we love cultivating a positive school climate through those assemblies with the music department. And also, you know, we mentioned the Eastern Region Festival and our Celebration of Excellence. But this is what we're really proud of, the number of students that we have attending this festival for a school of our size. That's a lot of students, so we're very proud of them. Moving on to the high school. these are a couple of our music electives that we offer: music technology and modern band, and some of the projects that they've been working on so far this year. We're really fortunate to have our music tech lab outfitted with state-of-the-art software that's industry standard, same thing that professional artists are using for recording. And modern band has been a successful class that we just added last year, and this semester they've been recording a short album. They're going to be presenting a concert in May, so we hope you'll get to experience those things too. And our band and choir, lots of photos there for you of some of the different concerts and community events that we've been participating in so far. You can see some photos from our 9/11 ceremony, and as well as the winter concert. We've got a couple more concerts coming up, and the Memorial Day parade as well. We're really excited to be able to collaborate with some of the other departments, with the visual arts, for the art show at the spring band concert, for the CTE department with the culinary showcase, at our spring choir concert in April. So lots of great things going on. Our music ensembles are very strong this year. We've really bounced back well from the pandemic, and our numbers are up. Lots of great things going on there. In addition, excuse me, we have a large number of students that were accepted to the music festivals. The Eastern Region Festival, as we mentioned earlier, 8 students were accepted. Last year, we only had 2 students from Bolton High School, so we're really proud that we've put in that work to get more students there. And we're really excited for our Disney trip. So thanks again for supporting that and that experience. That's going to be a really, really special thing for our students. And then moving on to the visual arts at the high school. Mr. Gallo put together a few slides showing what his classes have been up to so far this year. And so a couple of pieces from his advanced drawing class and some pieces from ceramics. And photography and graphic design. And the Bolton High School art classes will be doing an art show at the Bentley Library in the month of February. So we hope you'll stop by and see more of the art from our students here. And I just wanted to say again, a huge thank you to all the support from our administrators, from Superintendent Hecht, and from the board. You know, we try to only ask for the things that we need in the arts, but anytime we do ask for something, we always get what we need, and we do not take the support that we have here for granted. This is a great community for the arts, and so thank you again for that. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Ayer. Doing a great job.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, now on to Mr. Jones and CTE.
All right, good evening, everyone. If you can figure this out. So similarly, I'd love to share with you this evening just a snippet of the things that we've done this year, as well as some things that we're planning on doing in career and tech ed. Our department includes at the middle school, we have computer instruction, and we also have tech ed. At the high school, we have family and consumer science, we have tech ed, as well as business. So we'll start at the middle school. This is BCS Tech Ed, Ms. Moore, and this is robotics and engineering with students going through and designing robots for in-class competitions as well as production lines. On to 3D printing, students using the Tinker cards to design keychains, bookmarks, and cookie cutters. They certainly get into engineering. STEM is a big part of the class. So 2 of the engineering challenges that they look at, students build and test hot air balloons and snowball catapults, and they make them out of everyday materials, which means they are coming in and helping the budget keep our bottom line low. Aerospace engineering, so the students designed a straw rocket, and then they built model rockets that they were able to launch outside. Still at the middle school, some wood shop projects, students creating designs using literally just a piece of wood, nails, and they're wrapping yarn around them. On the top right, we have students shaping custom pins. And the bottom right, they're using a drill press to create cars. Computer instruction, students working on increasing speed and accuracy while practicing their keyboarding skills. And this is at 5-8. Computer science topics, students discuss the cloud computing, social media, and digital safety. Students also create nonlinear presentations using Google Slides, which kind of prepares them for things that they'll do at the next level when they come up to the high school. Spreadsheets, again, this is something that ties into stuff we do at the high school that also happens in business. So students are able to use Google Sheets and build spreadsheets. They get into some coding in order to solve puzzles, complete drawings, and develop games. Moving up to the high school at Tech Ed, students, this is Mr. Antoon, students learn through project-based learning, utilizing the facility to gain mastery in their area of study. And if you haven't been in the tech room, they got a ton of equipment. So students can do everything soup to nuts. They can build sheds, as well as several other things. In CAD, students gain a basic knowledge of computer-aided drafting software, which will help them develop computer-generated engineering, architectural drawings, technical drawings. Desktop publishing, so students will learn how to do desktop publishing using Word, Adobe PageMaker, Photoshop, as well as Illustrator softwares. Construction, students develop a broad range of real experiences in the construction trades, including plumbing, electrical, roofing, and so on. Architecture and construction, students learn different architectural styles and principles and use CAD software to bring them to life. Moving into business, accounting, students are exploring financial statements and learning closing entries. And that picture on the top right, they have a 6-column worksheet where they're journalizing transactions in a general journey for our students that are looking to go into the field of business. Marketing, students create marketing plans for a company of their choosing. The middle shot looks at the market research necessary when you're trying to bring a product to the market. And there on the right is a student created ad to promote a new product. Personal finance, which is a graduation requirement. Students are exploring their banking and credit units of study in finance, work and money, budgeting, independent living. And it's amazing that the students have an opportunity to do that. And this is happening right here at the high school. Shot on the right, they're practicing budgeting by playing Monopoly as part of their, this was right before the break, by the way. Still in business, wealth management. Students try to prepare and navigate life's financial pitfalls. They look at life after high school, buying assets, cars and houses, and how that works in terms of interest rates, retirement basics, and insurance. And the picture on the right, students are setting New Year financial goals. On family consumer science, we have been pretty busy. November, we traveled to the senior center. We shared a Thanksgiving meal. We did everything soup to nuts, turkey, including I did the turkey. Students did all the sides. Couple of comments, and they work with different schools. They work with the culinary tech school. According to the participants there, the best food they've ever tried.
Like it. Excellent.
Okay. So on the far right, we got a picture of everyone. And that was the whole spread. We just need to take the foil off. And then on the far right, we have a couple of students that were taking care of the dessert station. Pecan pies, apple pies, pumpkin pies. More importantly, that intergenerational connection. So the high school students get to work with the senior citizens, they serve them, they're polite to them, they got a standing ovation at the end. Another event for senior citizens, and this is an event that happened right here at the library. We did we typically do 6 different types of cookies. We gave them a surprise. Again, it's an opportunity for them to get together. We set up a big poster boards where they could choose their favorite cookies. And I was so impressed. And again, the students baked everything except for the lemon bars. And that's only because we had a snow day and we had an early release. So the head chef had to get involved. What else? Couple of pictures that shows everyone. So the senior citizens actually got to get up and move around. So they got some exercise where they got to choose their favorite. And one of the comments was, can we do more than one? So they were very, very happy. In addition, I don't think everyone understands, there's a lot of mathematics, science that goes into all of this, figuring out these recipes, scaling them up so that we can serve, I believe this was 21 seniors. Muffins with the message. My wonderful wife is also a family consumer science teacher. She's got great ideas, so we share. So this was early in the year. We were just looking at more of a social emotional thing, trying to get some connections and send a positive message out to peers. So only requirement was that it could be a family member, it could be a friend, just sending a positive message. So on the far left, students are working on writing messages, positive messages to students. The middle, they're baking the muffins, of course. And then, so each person that received a muffin, got them in a bag. And they had, that's a sample right there. So happiness is the only thing that multiplies when they share it. This is a technique I've seen. They also do this at the local gyms. You can just pick up a positive comment with all of the negative things that go on in society. I think this is a nice way to kind of bring people together. This spring. So this will be 2nd annual international showcase. We'll collaborate with the music department. We will look at various cuisines, Japan, Japanese food, Chinese food. We'll go into Europe. We'll look at Italian foods, and we will finish with Mexico. And so the students learn about the culture. A big part of the culture is the food. And so last year, we did Mexican rice, we did Mexican street corn, we did tamales. This year, we will probably pare it down, but the same theme is there. And it will be open. This will be an event at night, and we hope that we will have lots of people come in to try our foods. Hang on. And I think we are at the end. So as you can see, family consumer science students, as well as all the tech ed students, are very busy. And I just want to echo what Ms. Air said. I appreciate the fact that we value the culinary arts, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Jones?
That was a great presentation. Thank you.
Nice job, Chris. Thank you. You guys don't have to stay, but you're free to if you'd like. I'm now going to turn it over to Monica, who's going to provide a technology update.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Great job.
All right, it's looking for the clicker. Good evening. This is just a quick update regarding some of our replacements and some of the work that Novus has been doing as our managed service provider. For student devices, we maintain a Chromebook replacement cycle in grades 1, 5, and 9. Students in grade 1 receive touchscreen devices because much of the work that they do involves like tracing hands-on. And 5 and 9 receive standard devices. Novus continues to assist us with repairs. They send out devices. We do have accidental damage plans for our students in case of an accidental screen break or something like that. And they also support us with device management. So they do some repairs in-house. They're helping us with inventory, managing our devices, making sure that we are always aware of where all of our assets are. There are also new remote monitoring and management tools that provide greater insight. So this is able to track every single device and when it was purchased and when the warranty runs out. We did not have this capability before, and having it all in one place in a spreadsheet is incredible. So they've done a lot of work to make sure that everything that we have is updated. For staff and classroom devices, they have taken staff and student accounts. If anything's been, they identify it, they disable it. Every once in a while, a student may move out of district. That information is, taking up space, and they're able to clean that out. We have a full Chromebook inventory, and carts were purchased for BCS. So every single grade level, it was only K-3 originally. So now every grade level has carts up to grade 8, and students take home devices as needed if there's a particular assignment. And that helps us kind of keep our inventory safe. We know where everything is at all times, and it helps with minimizing damage. We do have some replacements needed for teacher and lab desktop devices because with that wonderful tool that tracks all the warranties and everything, we realized we had a number of devices that would not be supported moving up to Windows 11. More to come next month on that. We have just finalized the counts of what we can change and what we can move, and we are in the process of getting quotes. This is just something to put on the radar, so you'll see it in the update again next year. Our ViewSonic boards, the project moving from short throw projectors and or smart boards to interactive flat panels, started in 1920. So some of our devices, not many.
2020.
I mean, there were some purchased in the 19, yeah.
19
I think we were piloting them. So
Yeah,
there's a
correct.
handful.
Yep.
So we just want to be prepared. It's not an automatic replacement, but we need to prepare for that in the event that they start to kind of burn out. So 7 years is generally the benchmark that we're looking for. Many of them can last much longer, but it's just something we want to think about. And we are working with Novus to review the staff Chromebook replacement cycle. Some of the testing we do at BCS now would require a touch screen for the adults to test students. So we are looking at options for that and specs. So they do help us, it'll be on the next screen, they do help us spec out devices. We are in that process right now for a number of different things. So district services and cybersecurity. Our Microsoft 365 cloud backup is in place. We authenticate constantly, all the time, for everything, every single time we turn on our computers. I know it's gonna be a little bit annoying to some people, but I've been
Safer is better.
it's safer is better, right? Also continuous vulnerability scanning. Even if something happens after hours, we get contacted. There's Google Workspace cleanup and reorganize the structure so that we can audit security configuration settings. So basically, we know the status of everything at all times, and the organizational units have been overhauled. We've moved available services if we could. We had a number of physical servers in place, and those require replacement and extended warranty funds. We have moved as much as we could into cloud-based services. Again, they do in-house repairs of devices, troubleshooting as necessary, and they are also helping with identifying any weaknesses in our infrastructure, things that are aging, things that need to be replaced. And so we are currently in the middle of that. And some of it seems like it's very small, but moving things into cloud-based has taken a
lot of
huge
time.
amount of man hours, which has been, they've been wonderfully diligent with that process. We have been working on policies and procedures built out with our consulting team. We've been working on the acceptable use policy and cybersecurity incident response. The administrators did a table read so that we could be prepared in the event that we have to respond to an incident immediately. Also improving the onboarding and offboarding staff process. So, we found, some accounts that were just in our system not being used. Maybe someone left the district and there wasn't like a set workflow of how to bring someone on board and to offboard someone after they leave the district. So that has been put in place. They built a form for us that will automatically trigger what needs to get done so that someone will not find themselves like, wait, I can't sign into this particular product. They were taking care of that. And that has been an incredible improvement. We're grateful for that. So are there any questions?
Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Monica's
And I think
gonna
I'm
stay
staying.
there, and we're gonna
I'm
invite,
staying.
I think, Joe and Daryl up as well,
Why don't you-
for a strategic plan update.
I'll turn it over to you. So for our strategic plan update, it's going to be school specific, but we're just going to reacquaint you with our graphic. As you know, this is our portrait of a graduate. And our strategic goals focus around student success, caring culture, talent development, and resource stewardship. So being responsible with what we have. Student success is connected to our assessment, our curriculum, making sure that our students are developing those transferable skills. Caring culture, I think, is self-explanatory, but making sure that students have that sense of belonging. As you had seen earlier, our surveys address that as well. Talent development, creating a collaborative culture where our teachers, they want to be here, they enjoy being a part of our community, and we make it a great place to work. And then again, resource stewardship, being responsible with our resources and being fiscally responsible. So each school has a plan directly tied to the strategic plan, the portrait of a graduate, reviewed and revised. So both principals will discuss what work was done over the summer and where we are now. Presented to staff in the opening days of school. So our teacher leadership teams do much of that work and includes multi-year goals to improve teaching and learning. So for some of these certainly do overlap. We are careful about allocating funds. We want to support community events. We have anti-bullying programming increased family communication. And that has extended more this year. So we started with Parent Square, Student Square. We have moved to their product of Smart Sites, which integrates well with that, and our social media accounts. And we are certainly at pre-pandemic levels with opportunities for families to be involved. Transportation is provided if someone cannot get here, if they live a distance away. We provide transportation for families to attend school events. For goal 1 and 2, our focus on the learning environment. There is that constant effort and always making sure that there is a positive climate and culture for students to arrive at and for teachers to be here for. The rollout of multi-tiered systems of support happened this year and also for all students grade K-12, which provides targeted intervention and support for the students who need that. And it is aligned with the BPS Portrait of a Graduate. Last year, we started from the administrative side, building the structures for that to happen. And so this year we've had a pretty successful rollout and both principals will speak to that. And then the focus on effective instructional practices. We are continuing with teacher clarity. I took it off in the interest of space, but we do have the commitment to organizing and funding our professional learning opportunities. You get a report for that at the end of the year, but we are always in that process of making sure teachers have the professional learning that they need. Revision of the teacher evaluation plan. So that has been complete. We are working with that this year. Commitment to the reading curriculum aligned with science of reading, also fully in place. And both principals, I'm sure, will give you many more details about peer observations at each school and the work that they are doing. So I will now turn it over to Principal Jared.
Thank you, Monica.
Good evening, everybody. Our first goal, and you heard when our academic leaders came to the beginning of the year to present the plan, focuses on school, family, and community partnerships. And it really is, and you heard at the very beginning that we shared it with staff, the foundation for the work that we do. So at the beginning of the year staff meeting, we come back from our summer work, the academic leaders build the work we want to do for the school year around these goals. So with school, family, community partnerships, one of the things we've done a lot of work on the last 2 years, because this plan kind of has gone multi-year, is diversified our communication methods and social media use. We have 100% of families in a Parent Square. We really listened to the feedback of the families and came up with last year, and it's been well received by weekly communication with families at all grade levels, rather than one grade level doing much more communication than others, and then parents being confused as to why do I hear more from one grade level than another, being consistent across grade levels. Newsletters for K-8, Power School grades being updated, and then our BCS Facebook and Instagram posts. And I know Superintendent Act passes out to the community, and we do it on our social media, the community updates. And I wanted to just quickly tie, and this is impromptu, a quick shout out to our robotics team, who is #1 in the state right now at the skills level. So I know Mr. Jones talked about robotics. They're #1 in the state right now, which is tremendous.
Awesome.
Continued and expanded entry points and opportunities for families to be involved. So assemblies, concerts, sporting events, K-8 Winter Family Night, which is coming up on January 23rd, if you want to join us. Parent-teacher conferences, student-led conferences, so many inroads to really get families into the building. And it's not just families, it's the veterans during the Veterans Day Assembly. It's bringing the community into the building. Like Mr. Jones said, we can get seniors into the schools. We are such a small town. The schools are such an integral part of the town. So getting families to the community into the schools is extremely important. Utilize staff, student, and family survey data to enhance the items above and to add additional items. And that's the focus of our staff meeting next Tuesday. We've been working with our academic leaders as we broke down over 3 leadership team meetings, all that survey data we shared with you from the staff, teachers, and students. The staff came up with ideas and some recommendations. We sorted through all of that. Now we're circling back to the next staff meeting to say, hey, these are some things that are workable action steps. So this school plan really is the foundation for our work. And we're going to present those action steps that came out of the survey data connected to these goals on Tuesday at the staff meeting. Goal 2 is to enhance the learning environment. So we participate in a lot of professional learning. This year we had a really quality PD on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Refined our school-wide PBIS matrix, and in 2 weeks we have our next town hall meeting where Mrs. Kelleher and myself are going to talk to all students about what is unkind behavior, what is bullying, how to report bullying. So all those things that kids hear about that we want to make sure that they really know about and how to report those. Continuing to implement Ready to Learn, which is at the middle school level, really focusing on effort, engagement, and materials. As I mentioned earlier, regular staff meetings focused around new activities and new learning. recognizing students for positive achievements through Buster Braggs. Mrs. Kelleher does a tremendous job with our morning announcements and really bringing students to the forefront to be recognized. Continuously meet to review student data to improve student outcomes, and staff socials and gatherings to foster really that positive sense of community. We have monthly staff breakfasts, which are very well received. So staff come in, they bring in the food, 7:30, 7:45 in the morning. And we call it a gathering. That's the key word, because it's not just about the food. They have a chance to talk to each other. In a pre-K building, a lot of staff don't really interact. So an 8th grade teacher might not really know who a new 1st grade teacher is. So by having those staff breakfasts, it really brings in that sense of community. And we have some staff games coming up actually on a PD day. So that team building piece is big as well. Effective instructional practices. So we implement a number of things, interim assessment blocks, IABs, FIABs. We're really focusing on student engagement and peer visits, as Director Giglio mentioned earlier, where teachers actually this upcoming week are going to be getting into each other's rooms instead of meeting for PLCs. They're going to be going to other teachers' rooms to see what they're doing, answer kind of a protocol feedback form, and then at the next PLC talking about what they saw, any ideas that it generated, and really bouncing ideas off of each other. Continued implementation of our reading program, so bookworms in EL, our math program, Ready Math, and adjusted our assessment calendar to meet the needs of all the work that we're doing. Nothing is really standstill. 90% of the work we do is living documents or living processes where things have to be adjusted based on what comes in and how things are going. Instructional coach and math coach are doing a tremendous job working closely with the grade levels and leading PLCs. Our monthly leadership, we call it the instructional leadership team, has new learning opportunities amongst ourselves, and then we take that information back to the staff. And the implementation of our multi-tiered systems of supports, which has gone very well, and this year bringing it up to grades 6, 7, and 8, really providing that intervention for struggling students at the classroom level. So it's that tier 2. And our implementation of our new teacher evaluation plan has been well received. We have Teach Boost, which is our new platform. Teachers have liked it. It's more streamlined and well received this year. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Masello.
Thank you, Daryl.
So similar goals, with obviously with different action steps taking place. So in the partnership area, continuing that use of technology, we've got 100% of families and students on Parent Square. Students love the fact that they can make direct contact with teachers or find out what the schedule is on a particular day. So that's something that, again, thanking the superintendent of the board, we brought that on board in a trial a couple of years ago, and it is one of the things that has made the absolute biggest impact. Parent-teacher conferences were not always the thing at Bolton High School. That was the culture in the town. And 3 years ago, the State Department of Ed said, you got to do it. So we did. And we get better and better at it each time. And we're building that culture as well. We had a fantastic turnout for our fall conferences. As Daryl mentioned, all those kind of bi-weekly social media posts to Mrs. Hecht out to the town, as well as what we might do internally. Mr. Jones mentioned some of the culinary and the music things. And then bringing in the staff from Amplify, who had done a student survey last year, and really digging in and looking at that data, which was not only fascinating, but it really turned into a celebration of what's going on with our students and
Can you
families.
explain a little bit about the Amplify?
Yeah, so, didn't cost us anything, grant funded, so put that out there, but a pretty detailed survey on, student, perhaps their substance use or what's going on at home or their involvement in things. And because of the structure we have in the building with our connections periods, they were blown away. They had to ask us, like, how did you manage to get 95% participation from students? It's because we have the culture of the small connections groups. The teachers were also, do surveys at the same time as students do. And it was a very nice takeaway and celebration with the data and some follow-ups. So, some resources for health and those kinds of things. Because we participated in the survey, we have those opportunities. And we actually, Mrs. Hecht and I started a conversation yesterday about the next step and all of that. So that worked out really well. And again, those folks from Amplify coming in and meeting with our faculty, bringing those outside resources in.
Can I just add to that? So, Bolton has developed a prevention council. I think that's what they're calling themselves, right? It kind of started as one other person from Bolton and myself And Beth, right, like the three of us, and maybe there was one other person about a year and a half ago. We have some new members that have joined us. We had a meeting today. That is more of a global community type group to address, whatever needs there may be in town for both youth and families. But I think it's a great new kind of up and coming addition for the town of Bolton, and amplify people who are part of this grant, that get the grant from the state, also sit on that council as well and support. So it's been a nice new addition.
What's the name of the council again?
Bolton Prevention
Prevention
Council.
So under goal 2, that positive and supportive community. So, the ongoing activities organized by staff, and it's been fascinating that it's not one person doing that. I'll get a request from a particular teacher, hey, can we do this? And then 2 weeks later, it's a different group of teachers. As Daryl, we mentioned, we did participate in that PD on diversity and equity, but we kept it going during our weekly PLCs, down as granular as bringing in assessments and teachers sharing with each other, and reflecting on the questions in those assessments and what could be, for example, a biased question that it's the author you may not have realized. So some really detailed conversation as we continue looking at the diversity, equity, inclusion. The recognizing of students and teachers with the Old Month Club. And then another crazy idea that somebody brought to me one day and said, can we play Clue? And what this became was a group of, we actually had too many volunteer teachers who wanted to participate. We had to pull names out of a hat, and they each took on a role, and we did recordings, and the recordings were played as clues to the school, and then, figuring out who did it. And I'll give away the end because the game ended months ago. It was Mr. Humiston of all people. And we ended with a treat for the students. So that was something that students and faculty were all trying to solve the clues together. So it was nice. There may or may not have been some interruptions to some classes where the teacher said, hey, let's go out as a group and look at the clues on the bulletin boards and try to figure out who did it. And then reviewing of student data. So we're always looking at what's going on with students and getting together and collaborating with that. We actually did this is not a great name, a speed dating format for this, where we took a list of students that we thought it might be helpful to talk about, what we felt were students who might be underperforming. And we, in 45 minutes, we talked about 36 students, 90 minutes, talked about 36 students. And the idea was, I had that student last year, so here's 3 ideas that work for me. And we documented that, and all of our teachers are going to get feedback. So here are your students second semester, and here are some ideas that your colleagues who have had these students in the past have to help them be more successful. Again, when we say PLC, that's our weekly meetings of staff. The staff is divided really just by their availability and their schedule into 3 groups, and we meet weekly to talk about all the stuff that we do, all the professional development, all the growth, all the instructional improvement. The peer observations, we've been doing those for years, and the faculty really likes those, and we always go in with a different focus. One of the ones we did this year was go in and observe, not your colleague teaching. We've done that, we'll continue to do that. But for this particular one, go in and observe your student in somebody else's class. And then we came back to PLCs and discussed it. Very, very eye-opening. The collaboration regarding shared students. So again, Daryl and I both teach the same student. We provide an opportunity for the 2 of us to discuss how that student is doing and what we can do to continue to support them. And then the MTSS that you've heard about, you heard from Monica, Daryl, we've really revamped that entire program this year. And I think later in the year, we'll have a more detailed update for you, but we're very excited about the team we put together and all the supports we put in place for students. And then we have a 4th goal this year. We added a 4th under responsible technology use. And we were talking about cell phones before all the media blitz and everything else. And we made some changes. The faculty said, hey, let's try this. And we have, and we have not eliminated the distraction of phones, but we have reduced it for sure. We're kind of building towards that culture. Security training with Novus, collaboration with them. I know Monica mentioned them earlier. That has been such a huge resource for us, such a positive shift. The guys are in the building, staff know them, they know the staff, they know where the rooms are, and they're very responsive. So when you take away the obstacles in technology, then you have a much more positive culture in terms of integrating the technology to improve instruction. And then our library meet of McGee, the librarian, has just been going just full throttle this year with working with students and working directly with staff. There was a PD day where she actually ran 2 simultaneous activities for teachers, because one group of teachers wanted one and one wanted another, and she found a way to kick each off and kind of go back and forth with them. Again, giving them things that they can use in their classrooms for instruction. Questions for me?
Any questions for Monica, Daryl, or Joe? Our staff's doing a great job and they are really doing a lot of work. I just want to speak to the resource stewardship. We are in the process of our zero-based budgeting piece. We are continuing to maintain the one-to-one devices for our students. We continue to focus on an allocation of grant funds to address the needs of our teachers, students, and families. We received more Title IV funding to increase STEM and STEAM opportunities. We are utilizing our ESSER Small Town Right to Read grant this year, as well as the HVAC grant for the first phase of the BCS Energy Management System. Thank you all very much. Nice job. Well done. Thank you. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. Thank you. And that concludes my report this evening.
Thank you very much. On to unfinished business, and we have 4 texts that are up for adoption. Hopefully you all made your way over to the Board of Ed this last month, so we'll review them and find that they were up to your standards, along with all the members of the public. Should we have 4?
No, you can just do it.
Okay. We have a motion, please, to approve the following text purchases. Entree Cultura Spanish levels 1 to 4 from Wayside Publishing. Entree Cultures French levels 1 to 2 Wayside Publishing. World History Interactive: The Modern Era by Savas Learning Company. And the Emergency Medical Responder, Your First Response and Emergency Care, 7th edition, American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Make a motion to approve those texts. I'll second it.
So anyone have any questions or comments about any of these? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed or abstaining. All right, we are good there, and on to new business and resignations.
I have one retirement to announce, and that is Randy Cornaglia from Bolton Center School, and she will be retiring at the end of the school year. And I want to thank her for her service to the Bolton Public Schools and congratulate her on her retirement.
Now we're looking for a motion to go into executive session for the discussion regarding terms of employment, wages and benefits of our unaffiliated employee for 2024-25. The discussion regarding terms of employment, wages and benefits for unaffiliated employees for 2025-26. The superintendent's contract,
And invite me.
and to invite the superintendent to attend.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
You, any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. See ya.